as the Panthers are on the board first at Ambrose Urbanic Field, thanks to the shot from... As the Panthers get another opportunity, and that ends up in the back of the net. Pittsburgh defeats NC State 2-1.
Third-ranked women's volleyball team, the Pitt Panthers, the two-time defending ACC champions.
Under the leadership of Coach Fisher, they have turned this program around in just 3 short seasons.
The block and another win for Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Third-ranked team in the country in volleyball. Football team won at Syracuse. Touchdown, Pitt. They've won 4 in a row. The men's soccer team knocked off #1 Virginia in Charlottesville.
But it will be Pittsburgh who gets on the board first. And there goes a second goal.
Hail to Pitt in full effect here.
Welcome back to Pitt Beyond the Script alongside Pat Bostick. I'm Casey Garrow. Pat, another exciting weekend in Pitt athletics. A lot of wins. Men's soccer, women's soccer, volleyball had 2 sweeps. Of course, football and swimming and diving. How exciting is it to have all those wins heading into homecoming weekend?
It's awesome. It was kind of watching it happen as the game unfolded on Friday, and then it was just kind of one after the other. Obviously, the men's soccer win, I think, probably takes the cake. Beating #1 in their place is huge. So happy for Coach Vidovich. Obviously, Randy Waldrom's doing a great job.
Another ACC win. AMAIA PENA heroic for Pittsburgh tonight.
Dan Fisher's kind of lost in the fray. It's becoming expected that they're just going to sweep people.
30th consecutive win in this building. It's a school record and very impressively done by the Panthers today.
And swimming and diving with a big road one. And obviously, the football win was big. It's exciting going into homecoming, having all this momentum. Winning truly is contagious, and I hope the alums come back and are proud of what's going on.
And you mentioned that football win at Syracuse in the Dome. Not an easy place to win. How important is it to get that 27-20 win?
Syracuse was 8-1 in the Dome the last 2 years, and to go on the road and beat them in their environment and to really pull it away. They came back, you knew they were going to fight back, and they're on the ropes a little bit. But to get a lead, for your defense to register 9 sacks, your offense to get going with the running game, A.J. Davis with his first 100-yard game. A lot of positive signs in that game. Still need to find kind of their run in the third quarter. It hasn't been good enough. They're allowing teams to get back into it. But the positive thing is they're finding a way to win in the fourth quarter, and that certainly beats the alternative.
And let's talk about those 9 sacks. They're ranked nationally in the FBS at the top, about 9 or 8 above the competition. This line, the blitzing looks great.
I tell you, I think as responsible as the line and linebackers are for the pressure they're getting, I think the DBs are equally responsible. The coverage has been outstanding. Dane Jackson, Damari Mathis. I know you saw him get beat, a couple flags on those guys. That's what they're doing out there. They're one-on-one. You're going to win most of your battles out there with guys like that. They're going to lose a couple. But for the lion's share of the time, their coverage is so good that quarterback can't make a quick decision. So he's got to go back there, hesitate for a little bit, and you hesitate against this defense, you're going to pay for it. There's guys coming from everywhere. I think 10, maybe 9 different guys registered at least a half a sack in that game. That's impressive stuff. Makes it very difficult to game plan against them because you just don't know where the pressure's coming from.
And do you think this is the most depth we've had on defense under Pat Narduzzi? Because we got to see a lot more players this weekend with Paris Ford out for that first half. Of course, he came in, made his presence known. He was the second leading tackler, but we got to see some other faces in there in the secondary.
Yeah, I would challenge any Pitt fan to look at this defense as excited about as you are for today. Count how many guys will be back next year. I mean, they're going to have players after players after players of depth returning next season. The number of young guys making plays for this defense, it's exciting.
Well, it's certainly exciting. I want to move on to Miami a little bit. A struggling Miami team, but their record doesn't show how good they truly are.
Well, obviously, you look at last year, it was a really frustrating day at Miami because they weren't able to throw the football. And here you bring in Mark Whipple. And you've got a guy that can choreograph the pass game. He's starting to get some run game going. I think they have the answers for this Miami defense that they didn't have a year ago schematically. Now the key is, are you able to match up personnel-wise? That's where they're extremely dangerous on both sides of the ball. Miami always has talent. It's a whether or not the talent comes together and they play cohesive. I think their defense is, they are very difficult to move the ball against. They have really veteran linebackers. Their D-line is nasty. They'll get after you. Their corners are locked down. So you got a game plan to get the ball into space and try to create matchups. That's just the bottom line. And then on the other side of the ball, they're going to have your one-on-ones. You've got fast receivers out there that they're going to chuck the ball up to, just like Syracuse did. So if you don't get to the quarterback, you better be able to cover. It's going to take a complete game to beat this team because Miami, as you mentioned, they've been in a lot of games. They haven't come out on the right side. Certainly you think they could be a little down on their luck. They're not. They're a confident group that's going to try to come in here and steal a win.
All right, well, thank you, Pat, for joining us. And thank you for watching another edition of Pitt Beyond the Script.
Touchdown! And the Panthers crack open a bigger lead.